Hey, this is Steve Bloom, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me this week are...
James John Mike.
Grandmaster Flash.
Mike Squared.
Wait,
Right. Yeah.
Grandmaster Flash. All I can think of is, oh God, what the hell? I don't know. I lost it. Anyway.
It's gone, Mike. Just let it go.
It's gone. Just like that right to arm bears or bear arms or I don't know, whatever. Anyway. What's going on, guys?
Video games.
You're always
a lot of goddamn video games.
You're always playing a lot of goddamn video games.
Although the year end is coming up rapidly, and I couldn't be happier because it means I can actually play stuff for fun as opposed to playing stuff to stress out over. I finished Fallout 4 this past week. Mm-hmm. Played normally until about level 40, then I just said fuck it, and I went and used a bunch of exploits. Now the game is retarded fun. I beat the last mission by using nothing but nukes. Nothing power armor and about 15 nukes can't solve.
Was Duke around when you did this?
Yes. It was ridiculous. I walk into this base that's full of these guys in power armor. They're called the Brotherhood of Steel. And they're like, get her! And I'm like, I don't fucking think so. So yeah, I nuked every single person in that base about 7 times over. That was more fun than it should have been. I'm playing Rainbow Six Siege right now, which is the newest incarnation in that series. It's really hard, just because the AI, it's either really smart or you have no health. So, and Xbox One's been having nothing but problems with it. I'm trying to play Just Cause 3, which kind of looks like garbage right now. It's poor optimization on the Xbox One, so I'm going to be waiting on that.
It seems like everybody I've talked to in the last week, it seems like everybody's like, yeah, PS4 wins everything, Xbox One bones everything.
I don't know. Xbox One, I think, has better infrastructure. Xbox, stop listening. Stop listening. I'm talking to you guys through Kinect, and it's being stupid.
Xbox, activate stupid.
I don't know. I think I just like the operating system for the box more than I prefer PlayStation's. But that being said, though, PS4 does get some pretty cool exclusive stuff. Like, there's some exclusive Assassin's Creed Syndicate stuff I'm hoping to get to in the next couple of days. Just because I think Rainbow Six should be my last game I review for the year.
Right.
And then I'm off until mid-January, so thank God. However, though, because we're recording this tonight, the Video Game Awards, brought to you by Jeff Keighley, are airing right now.
Is this the
and
Spike?
I just found out Telltale Games, the guys who did The Walking Dead, Tales from the Borderlands, Game of Thrones, there's going to be a Batman game.
Boo.
And I'm just going to vomit money all over the monitor now. That game will be fantastic. And if they have the Joker involved, I promise you, Conroy and Hamill will be involved. Like, it's going to be, oh my God. If the writing's as good as the Walking Dead games have been, it'll be phenomenal. And I just saw footage for Far Cry Primal. So I can run around with a fucking saber-toothed tiger eating people. Pre-order done. Going in tomorrow, dropping down $20.
Wait. So essentially, you're what's his name from the Savage Land now? Oh God.
They're almost like Kazar or
Kazar,
whatever.
Yeah.
There's actually one line in the trailer who's like, "You are now the Beast Smasher." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll portal through time." It looks ridiculously fun though. And then they're also going to be making a Psychonauts 2, a sequel to Tim Schafer's game on the original Xbox. That looks pretty sick.
The
And
awards you're
Rocket
watching.
League is coming to Xbox. I'm really excited about that.
The awards you're watching, is this the Spike Video Game Awards?
It's what was the Spike TV Game Awards.
Okay.
Jeff Keighley now runs it, which is really good. I mean, I've met Keighley a couple times.
Yeah.
And if anyone can make it work, it's him. Although I do miss Spike doing it, mostly because they brought me out a couple years ago. But, yeah, they had a lot of really interesting winners tonight. The only one I would disagree with is the best multiplayer shooter was Splatoon on the Wii U. And I'm thinking, no, but okay. It seems like Nintendo's got a huge presence this year there, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of these things they're just trying to, hey, here's some money. And they're really trying to push Star Wars Battlefront, which, guys, it's not happening. The game is shit.
Although the Battlefield guys are playing it.
Yeah, you know what? I expected so much more from Star Wars Battlefront than what we got. But hey, maybe the DLC will fix that. But I'm not picking it up till I know exactly what I'm getting, because at a $50 season's pass, that's almost as much as the game. Man, bite my ass. Not gonna happen. Not in this lifetime or the next.
That's the same reason why I ditched Arkham.
Although, to be fair, Arkham's Seasons Pass content this year, some of it's been underwhelming, but it's been really consistent. And that's something a lot of Seasons Passes cannot say. There's I think the last of it comes out this month, actually. There's 4 or 5 story packs. You get tons of new skins and new costumes. I actually might replay through the Arkham game over the holidays using either the original 1966 Batman outfit or Batman Beyond with the 1989 Batmobile, just because it looks so cool. So, I don't know. Of all the DLC passes I've seen this year, that's oddly enough one of the strongest, and at $30, that's not terrible. But I don't like how we're moving towards that, where that's the standard. Hey, buy the Seasons Pass and get a third of the game you should have had already.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, which is really unfortunate. But hey, gaming, that's 2016 for you.
So, wait a minute. You're telling me they're moving away from essentially selling discs and then allowing you to purchase online DLC, and they're just going to season passes eventually?
You know what? A lot of people are saying a lot of games are moving right towards digital anyway. There actually have been several major releases. You buy the game in store, there's a download code inside. There is no physical media. I don't mind I don't mind digital downloads because it's less stuff to store.
Yeah.
But you don't own it.
Right.
Which means if one of those games happens to get pulled off Xbox Live or PSN, if they delist it, you may not be able to get it back. I've lost several games on Xbox Live that way. I know Sega pulled, I think it was Afterburner Climax or something like that.
Right.
Amazing port of the arcade game. And Sega delisted it, so unless it's sitting on your hard drive, you ain't getting it back.
That sucks.
I know. I mean, I like physical media, I really do, but I like having all my information in the cloud. Like, for example, I have 2 Xboxes, one I bought and one that I won. And I have my save games all sync up into the cloud. So if I'm playing out here in the living room where I'm talking to you guys, and I want to move to the bedroom, my save game is right there, ready to go. All my games on the hard drive, right there, ready to go. I love that. That's convenience to me.
Mm-hmm.
Same time, if I have a disc, I can take it with me, and if my hard drive happens to get destroyed, then, I still have the physical disc.
Yeah.
But with services like Steam, EA Origin, et cetera, digital distribution does seem to be the future. And sometimes you get exclusive digital content you don't get in the physical editions, and vice versa.
As long, for me, I had Steam for a while on this computer that I had before I upgraded to Windows 10. I haven't had Steam in a few years because I don't play enough on it. I don't buy enough games on it. I'm at my PC enough doing all the podcast stuff, so I just have no use to have Steam on my computer anymore. But it's one of those things where if the new digital age of video games does not allow you to buy the full physical game and only allows you, like, I guess I don't know, and you can tell me, Mike, because you're the one that's in on this. This season pass crap sounds like well, you said it. They're essentially selling you half of the game, and then they're going to make you buy the other half late. That's just dumb. If I'm spending $60 on something that's a digital frigging download, it better be the entire game that they originally planned to release.
This is why
sometimes season's content is worth it. Like, you'll see really good stuff. Like I said, despite what you may think of Arkham Knight, it's been consistent this year. That's something a lot of games can't say. With Call of Duty, with the season's pass, you get the new map packs, and a lot of stuff has to go into development for that. So I'm okay with map packs as long as they're consistent. I mean, although you look at something like, say, Halo 5 Guardians, there is no season's pass for that. However, though, if you want to buy a bunch of microtransactions, that funds the development of further DLC that is free. And that money also goes into prize pools for tournaments, etc., etc. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it.
All I'm saying about this whole thing is, if I'm going to go on Steam and I click on, let's say, Saints Row 10, I don't know, whatever, Grand Theft Auto 6, if I just want the main game that they release for Grand Theft Auto 6, whenever the hell they do it, and it sits there and says, okay, this is $49.99, $59.99, I better be getting the whole frigging game if I'm going to pay that price for a digital thing. Now, if it says, okay, this is Grand Theft Auto 6, but it's season pass content, then I'm like, okay, fine. I know to look for the other, full... Because the season pass stuff, it sounds to me, and I know it's not this, but the way it's sounding in my head is that it's kind of, oh god damn it, I lost it again. It sounds to me like it's only certain parts of
Yeah, it's basically extra stuff. Although having stuff like that locked behind a paywall is stupid. I know years ago when they had Street Fighter X Tekken for the Xbox 360 and PS3, the extra characters that you could get via the Season's Pass or via DLC were already on the disc. You were paying for an unlock code. That is horse shit. But if they're going to give you new content that gives you new story and new... Basically, if the price justifies the content, I'm okay paying for it. But if it doesn't, then yeah, punch right in the fucking coconut. Because that is complete crap.
I refuse to buy games anymore that have that kind of content, only for the fact that, and I know it's kind of wrong, but I'll buy them used, or I'll wait until the Game of the Year edition, and I'll still buy it used. Because then everything comes with it, and I don't have to pay anything extra out of pocket, which irritates the shit out of me when I'm trying to buy a game. Now, if it's an expansion and it comes out like a year and a half later, great, I'll buy that. But like, I'm not gonna the season pass or the unlocks or all this extra, like for instance, Battlefield 4. My brothers and my dad bought the game for me because there were already like 4 expansions in at the time when they bought it for me, and I was like, I'm not paying $100 to get a damn game. And so they bought the game for me, and then of course like the season pass thing, so every expansion that comes out, because it's like a premium edition, you get to just download them as it goes for the life of the Battlefield 4. So like the newest one I get to download for free, which I get, but
okay.
Like you can still buy battle packs to unlock the weapons and stuff, which are like anywhere from like $3 to $10, and I won't spend that. Fortunately, my brother has,
because that's a lot of pay to win.
Yeah, and see, like I won't do any of that. I won't put extra money into a game that I'm buying for fun.
Okay, can I tie this into music just for a moment? And I'm going to get really nerdy here because I've been living in Kentucky for 22 some odd years now.
Dueling banjos.
No, not dueling banjos. Everything we just said, okay, what needs to happen is what Garth Brooks is doing on his website, okay? He has a digital bundle for $29.99. It includes the new Man Against Machine album, the new Double Live 25th Anniversary Edition, and all 8 iconic studio albums he's ever put out, plus a new upcoming studio album that hasn't even been released yet for $30. Okay? You can essentially get close to 14, 15 albums digitally for $30. Okay? If the gaming companies want to put the $59.99, $60, I don't know. Mike, has there ever been a $69? I'm not counting special editions. I'm counting just a regular game. Has there ever been like a $69.99 price tag on a regular digital download game?
Yeah, I mean, I paid. Trying to think. Yeah, I paid like actually when I bought Star Wars this year because I wasn't provided a review copy. I paid $90 for a digital only version.
Okay, so why not? And I'm not counting DLC because DLC is extra stuff, it's new stuff, whatever. For season pass content and for the full game, why not have them at one price, not one price for each side of it? It's, oh God. This is why I'm so glad I'm not into console gaming anymore. I miss the Super Nintendo, damn it.
Well, it's like that across all kind of platforms now, it's just the way that the business model's moving. It's just the shitty way that it is. And as long as people are willing to pay for these things, speak with your wallet. But unfortunately, even if you boycott something, you're not gonna get enough people to go and do it.
Since we're talking about gaming, Steve, you want to bring up that thing I showed you?
Which one?
Game Boy.
Eh.
Okay.
Don't care anymore.
I figured it would be on topic. I don't know.
Moving on.
Okay.
So what do you have going on this week?
Me?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's not like
What?
in depth for the next 3 weeks.
No. Well, I've already got the first GCRN first couple interviews set up for next year already. I'll be interviewing composer Joe Kramer, who did the Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation score. I'll be interviewing him next week. What else have I been doing this week? Showtime Synergy's coming to an end, so we're wrapping that up pretty fast. Let's see. The Pull Bag got a whole brand new outlook thanks to you.
I forgot I did that.
Art and everything. Actually, the Pull Bag and Tooncast Beyond both got brand new looks. I have yet to debut the Tooncast Beyond look. I think I put it on Facebook, but I don't think I changed the Twitter thing yet. What else have I been working on this week? I've been working on my Flash Season 1 and Arrow Season 3 score reviews for La La Land Records. Let's see. Coming up with more podcasts for us to do next year at some point or another. Yeah, that's about it.
Myself, obviously been working on the art. Also getting close to ramping up or finishing up the semester in school. So like we're doing the final project now at this point, and then so I'll be glad when that's over. And the next semester I have screenwriting, which will be interesting. And then started playing Diablo 3 again last night. Which it's been a while. Like I keep the game updated in case I ever want to jump back in and play it. And one of my friends has been consistently playing it for the last 6 months. About the time I quit playing it. He told me to start a new character. Did it like a season run because I guess it's on season 4 now, and we set that up. And he blitzed me from level 1 to level 70. In a matter of an hour. So that was kind of cool. more money than I know what to do with in the game. So yeah, I did that, and then had a predicament when I was working on a guy's computer at work. I had a pop bottle in my coat pocket and didn't realize the cap was warped. So when I got up after an hour of sitting there at this guy's machine and realized, because I thought I pissed my pants, and I realized that the pop had leaked all the way through my coat, through my shirt, and into my pants. And luckily, I keep an extra pair on my desk because, yeah, it was like from my waist to like my knee. So it was pretty bad.
Oh boy.
So yeah, I explained that, and they were just like, and I'm like, shut up, bitch. So yeah, that I'm waiting on a solid state drive for my PC, so I can load Windows 10 on it and dual boot with my 7 that's already here, and then have 10 and 7, and then yeah, that way I can operate a little bit faster and see how much quicker it is for editing and for playing my game. So
cool.
Yep, that's what's been going on. Sidestepping that, Batman vs Superman trailer. Since the show has basically circled this movie since its
announcement.
Since the first episode, that was the topic.
Yeah.
Gotta say, after seeing the trailer, I'm a lot more interested now.
See, I've heard two different sides of the coin. I've heard certain people saying, "Ugh, this movie looks like garbage," or "Kill me now," or "This movie is not very interesting." And then I've heard people saying, "This is the greatest thing ever." And then I've heard other people saying, DCAU, screw this mess and blah blah blah. So like, I'm just kind of curious to hear what you guys have to say on it.
For
well,
me,
I called Doomsday over a year ago. I knew that was going to be the bad guy.
Well, everybody knew
cool,
that.
Though.
I've seen an image floating around, and I think you posted it too, Dodd. The one where they compare it with the Abomination, and then Ninja Turtles, and then some of the other Super Mario Brothers, and
yeah, but say that's. I don't like the design, but all things considered, it fits with the aesthetic of the DCAU. I mean, if they did a straight up Doomsday like the comics, it would look kind of stupid, even if they copied the Injustice version. Like, you know what? I'm okay with it. I mean, I think it's kind of cool, and I think seeing Ben Affleck as Batman was pretty fucking legit. I was really impressed with that.
I honestly think he's the best Batman and Bruce Wayne we've had since Michael Keaton.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I didn't care for Bale much. I mean, I liked him better than, like, obviously Kilmer and Clooney, but...
Clooney I will never defend, but Kilmer I will say that he was a better Bruce Wayne than he was a Batman.
I think George Clooney played a better Bruce Wayne than he did a Batman. Bale's... He's not... I don't know. It's... The Nolan thing sits in a different category almost.
Yeah.
Like, I like Bale's performance. His Bruce Wayne was not quite charming enough, but businesslike. You know what I mean?
And Keaton's Bruce Wayne was more, casual, and Affleck's Batman is more hardened and grim.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I think this movie may actually be somewhat decent. Like I said, I'm really curious to see what happens with it now. I love Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
I hate him.
A lot of people are saying exactly what Steve just said. A lot of people have seen it. That is
my only gripe with it. Like, granted, his lines are fitting, but it's also, like, foreshadowing for later. Like, oh, this guy's got a, pretty strong grip. Wouldn't want to pick a fight with this guy, and...
We've also heard, what was the guy who did it on Smallville? Michael Rosenbaum. He's made similar cracks before, too.
Well, but I'm not even nitpicking at the lines. That's the writing. That has nothing to do with the actor. But
this is Lex before he goes bald.
Which, okay, if he goes, hardcore, dark, and which it seems like that from the trailer, and, he becomes like the sinister, intelligent business, like the more or less closer to the DCAU. And I'm not trying to like compare it to that because I know that it's two different beasts.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the fact that Batman is pulling directly from The Dark Knight. And I'm loving, or the Dark Knight Returns, and then I like the fact that Superman's his own thing, like the almost like an Injustice God mixed with Man of Steel, and then I'm hoping that Lex Luthor takes after the DCAU, like once he gets fully into his normal character with the baldness and everything else, because right now he seems kind of like a Mark Zuckerberg, and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
I kind of like that though, simply because it might be a different take on him, and if his Lex Luthor evolves to the point where he does bad things because he thinks he's doing the right thing. Like, I love that one line from the trailer, like, if like, we can't kill God, I'll create something that can.
I'll create the devil that can.
Yeah, exactly. I really, I really like Lex Luthor because that's kind of the impression I've got. Like, sure, he's been an evil, twirly mustache, monocle motherfucker in the past, too. But I've also seen performances on, like, Smallville where you see he's not necessarily twirly mustache evil, but he thinks he's doing the right thing in his own mind. Like everyone's the hero of their own story in their own head. And I don't know. I think it'd be different to see Lex Luthor like this on the big screen. Obviously, it's not the Michael Rosenbaum, nor is it Gene Hackman's performance,
or even Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, or Kevin Spacey. Yeah. This might be interesting. I guess I'm legitimately interested for a change.
I see him specifically for Eisenberg. In the trailer, all as I can see him in is makeup and a purple jacket. Like, seriously, he would have been better as the Joker. They could have gotten anybody else to play Lex.
I kind of like how he's the young hotshot, though, and I think maybe bringing youth to this role might be a really good idea.
He's supposed to be like the hipster, version of Lex Luthor, and he's
the .com version.
Yeah, and that's why his company looks the way it does, and so on. But which funny note about that, the LexCorp building, is actually, because this whole movie was filmed in Michigan for the most part. The building, because my teacher showed the trailer 8 times and pointed out every object of it that is from Michigan.
That's pretty cool, though.
So he's privy to that information, being that I'm in a media class. But he said that the LexCorp building, all they did was put the LexCorp logo on the motion picture studio building, because it's actually, that's the actual building. The outside of the green screen soundstage building that they used for a lot of the green screen stuff of the movie. And that's all they did was slap the logo on the outside of it on the one corner, and that's how they got that. And then the museum thing where Bruce Wayne's pulling up and they're doing the interviews and everything else, that's like an actual museum in Detroit.
Right.
And then the train station building and the stuff when they're jumping around, or the Batmobile's driving around and Doomsday's jumping off, like those are all buildings from Detroit. So it's kind of funny. But no, I mean I really enjoyed the trailer, and I don't know. I almost enjoyed it more than Civil War.
No, I can't agree to that.
I don't know. They're about tied for me, honestly.
Well, I said I almost like it more than Civil War because, to me, I liked Civil War trailer because of the kind of heaviness of breaking of friendships between Tony and Rogers. In the trailer, saying, well, he's my friend, and he says, well, I was your friend too, or whatever. I mean, that's just kind of heartbreaking for those two characters. But I felt let down because, again, they're pulling the same method that Star Wars is doing with Luke and not showing Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So, it bothered me for that, although they're probably, if they're going to show him, it'll be closer to the time of its release, probably Super Bowl or something. But I genuinely enjoyed this trailer more. Plus the fact that you have Wonder Woman coming to screen for the first time.
She looks good. I'm legitimately impressed with how Gal Gadot looks.
I know. I am not disappointed whatsoever in that, and I think
She
it's
looks
great.
cool.
I know, and it's funny because she has to be the one that comes to save Superman and Batman. Because let's face it, Superman would have been fine, Batman would have been toast.
Is she with you? I wish.
Yeah, well, he's like, Superman's like, is she with you? And then Batman's like, I thought she was with you. So that's
a huge DC inside joke between the three of them.
Well, this is going to be funny too because before she comes to save, she's actually scoping out that area anyway because of she's at the ball that or at the party that Bruce Wayne's going to that Clark Kent's interviewing him at because she ends up dancing with Bruce Wayne, which is in a previous screenshot and trailer. So it's all connected in that sense. So she's there the whole time. It's just how that plays out. But anyways, I think it's funny that they're already filming Wonder Woman and Marvel's still sitting there trying to collect their balls and figure out when they're going to do their first female superhero movie.
I really hope Captain Marvel turns out for Marvel.
Well, see, this is my thing. Like, I wish they would have almost, like, I understand that Black Widow's, like, the kind of carry-on to all the Marvel movies, but, like, it almost, because, like, I really don't know what her role would be if she wasn't in them, but I think it's because nobody's really created one for her.
See, if they did a Black Widow movie in the style of, say, the Bourne Identity, I would watch the shit out of that.
I would too.
Be so cool.
And honestly, I would like to see that. And I don't know what Marvel's fumbling about, like, to get one of these movies made because the interest is there. That's the odd part. And in the fact that DC's like, you know what, we're going to beat you to the punch because you're still trying to figure out what you're doing, and we're gonna go there first. And I think that having her in this movie, even though her name's not in the title, is going to definitely help her solo film.
Absolutely. And I really hope the Wonder Woman movie is utterly badass. Because Wonder Woman, it's a character I don't know a lot about. I actually tried to read the rebooted Wonder Woman a couple years ago, and I couldn't get into it. I want to have a female superhero I can hang my fucking hat on. Unfortunately, my favorite female superheroes are Black Widow, and that's only because of the MCU, truthfully. And I'm an old school X-Men fan, so I love Psylocke, Rogue, and Jubilee.
See,
I can't name any other superheroes that I really give a shit about. And Wonder Woman has the potential to do that because she's a god. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And see, I'm more enthused for the DC Universe stuff because, one, I know more about the DC Universe. Two, Marvel, most of my exposure is through animated series and the live action films, and that's it. Like, I don't read Marvel comics typically. As far as
I've tried on and off for years, and I can't find anything that sticks.
Well, DC, I still read their stuff like occasionally, but what I've kind of run into is that either the story sucks or it's good, and it usually ebbs and flows over the years. So, I'm definitely more enthused for the DC stuff, even though I know it's going to be more grim and more dark. But at the same token, Marvel's heading in that same direction, so it's either anybody's game at this point. But I'm more enthused with the DC Batman vs Superman than I am with Civil War at this point.
I mean, for me, it's like Marvel versus DC film universes. Honestly, they're just now creating the DC film universe. Because let's face it, Nolan's stuff is on its own. It just is. End of story. They started the DC film universe with Man of Steel, and now they're doing this, and then they're going to do whatever the hell else. And Marvel's had their film universe for 7 years now, since Iron Man. And for me, I don't need to read Marvel comics to get into the damn movies. I mean, I've been paying attention to most of the movies. I haven't seen Ant-Man yet. I want to.
And neither have I, actually.
It's actually pretty good.
I mean, it's not that I don't want to see it. I just haven't had the chance to see it yet.
I enjoyed it more than Thor.
Yeah, see that's my sticking point. Is the Thor standalones? Those just bug the. I don't know why they do.
World
but
I liked a lot more than I liked the first Thor.
I will agree.
I don't know.
First Thor I felt was very plotting, but it was nothing but world building.
Ragnarok is going to be better.
Oh,
yeah, Ragnarok should be cool.
We have the Hulk.
Yes. But I mean, for me, the Marvel stuff at this point, as long as they have the same actors in the same role, like, sure, if you want to take Downey Jr. out and do something else with Iron Man, make it a different Iron Man, make it, whatever, fine. The guy's only going to get older and older and older. He's not going to be able to play Tony Stark forever. As long as he's excited about playing the role, I say let him keep doing it. With how Marvel has set out their phases for their film universe, it's all really made sense. And for me, I just can't see how DC and Warner Brothers is going to make sense of, like, I can't see how Batman vs. Superman is going to open, coming off the heels of Man of Steel.
I think the problem with the DC movie universe is Man of Steel should not have been the movie to start it. I think it set the wrong tone for it.
Well, I don't think it does. I think that this this film is piggybacking off of the ending of Man of Steel, obviously, which is what's motivating Bruce Wayne Batman to come after Superman in the first place. Right. So if you don't have that event, then there's no reason for the two of them to meet.
No, and again, maybe they could have set that down as one or two movies down the road. Give us the Batman movie first.
But we've just come off a trilogy of Batman films.
I guess that's
so they were
true.
wanting
and
to
you
diversify.
Couldn't start this with like Suicide Squad or something.
No, and
hell no. The thing with me is, and I know Warner Brothers isn't going to listen to me. DC's not going to listen to me. Obviously, I'm nobody. But when the Nolan films were done, when we weren't sure of what we were going to get next, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Man of Steel. I like Henry Cavill. I like how they told the origin story in that movie in nothing but flashbacks, because it was so different than the Dick Donner origin story we had in the original Superman films. But I really wanted them to do and I've said this so many times before, the reverse of what Marvel did. Marvel built up to the Avengers. I wanted DC to start us at Justice League and then let the League members spread out into their own movies.
They should have done World's Finest.
They should have. You think? That's still the best team-up movie.
I agree. So should we move on?
Yes, please.
All right.
Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Want to interact with the show? You can contact us in the following ways. You can call the voicemail line 502-526-5821. You can email us feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can visit the episode post on geekcastradio.com or alteredgeek.com. You can get a hold of us on Twitter @alteredgeek. Look for us every week on geekcastradio.com, of course, Stitcher Smart Radio, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show.
Anybody a fan of Samurai Jack? Because it's coming back.
That's kind of cool, actually. The guy who wrote the comic book, Jim Zubkovich, had said, well, I guess the series is coming back because my Twitter timeline's been blowing up. And the fact that they got the original guy to come back for Samurai Jack, I can't pronounce his name.
Gennady Tartakovsky.
Yeah, the guy who did the Star Wars micro series, the Clone Wars.
Gendy Tartakovsky, yes.
I think that's really cool. I'm really excited to get back into that series because I saw like a bunch of them when I was a kid, and I thought it was really cool. So yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I'm kind of in agreement. That was one of the few series I liked that were created towards the end of Cartoon Network's kind of run before they got into the absurd and the crap shows. So I'm excited for that.
What do you think are the Cartoon Network crap shows? Let's see what you think.
90% of everything that's on it now, because that's how they keep killing, like Young Justice or Beware the Batman or Thundercats and all these shows that should have had a longer life, and they put on more Teen Titans Go. And this Uncle Grandpa and shit like that.
Yeah, they got to rope.
I like stuff like
Adventure
regular
Time,
show with Steven Universe and stuff like that.
See, I see those as garbage shows.
What? Regular show's hilarious.
What I'm
and Rick
saying
and Morty's
is
pretty cool too.
Yeah, I see all those as garbage shows.
Fired. Someone will fight you in the comments, I promise you.
And let them, because I've already gotten bashed for liking The Flash and Boy Meets World in the top 100. So
that's
let
so
them come.
weird.
I had like a 30-thread comment going because I was defending The Flash and why I think it should be in the top 100.
So you're basically like TV Hitler to this person.
Essentially, yes.
TV Hitler Phillips.
That's all right. I'll just come right out on record and say it says the whole damn thing's done anyway, and we're gonna do our wrap up. I voted for every one of the superhero shows, so take that and shove it. But
to lick your tape. I hear you, boss.
I'm the reason why they all showed up. I bet. Well, me and like 6 other people probably, but I still think Flash is better than any of the other superhero shows at this point. I tried watching Jessica Jones, but when they started banging twice within the first 15 minutes, I was done.
What the fuck are you talking about? Not the first 15 fucking minutes. She doesn't fuck Luke until like episode 2 or 3.
No, that happened the first episode. I watched the first episode.
Wow.
Trust me, it gets better.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
I didn't find it that interesting of a show. It's not my. I don't know.
It does get pretty dark towards the end of it, and David Tennant makes a scary good fucking bad guy.
Well, see, this is my thing. I don't know the characters all that well, and I really am not open to them all that much because to me they're third tier or fourth tier like Marvel characters.
Well, yeah, because they're basically like street heroes.
Yeah, and see that, and like Daredevil's like a second tier, and I don't enjoy him either. So like between the two, like I have no faith in anything. Like I will grant you that Netflix does have the ability to cross the threshold and do things that regular TV will not allow, which is good. And it also somehow allowed a better budget for having the 13 episode run. However, I don't enjoy the shows themselves or the writing or anything like that. So as far as what I've seen so far, I will say that. I am not going to say that this show's terrible because obviously people like the stuff. I just personally don't like. That's not my taste. So like I prefer something that I can just sit back and enjoy, and that's like to me I'd rather watch DC anyway.
I can't wait until that Punisher series drops. That's going to be fucking amazing.
If they made a Ghost Rider series, I would probably be more invested, but I don't honestly care about any of these.
Okay, so since we're talking about the superhero shows and we mentioned the top 100, I just want to reveal my personal list rankings of what superhero shows I put where.
I'll do mine after.
I put Gotham at number 100. Just the season 2 has gotten much better. I had Smallville at 91. I had Arrow at 52, which it actually came out to be 52 on the countdown. I had Daredevil at 21, and I had The Flash at 10. Number 10 out of 100. So The Flash, to me, Flash and Arrow, well, none of that Arrow's done with the whole original Ra's al Ghul, not the Merlin version, but that whole season 3 crap. But The Flash to me is fun. It's interesting now that they're doing the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths thing and everything else with that, and it's just so much fun. And that's the point of it all, I think. And I don't know. Where did you rank your superhero shows that you had on your list, Steve?
Funny thing is, Daredevil actually came around what I voted for it. I put Daredevil at 36.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 32 or some shit like that. Trying to go through my list real quick. I put like the 70s Wonder Woman on there, or the 80s Wonder Woman, or whatever the hell it was.
70s, yeah.
I put that in like at 72, just to make sure it got a place on the list, because it's a geek network. Superhero shows, in my opinion, should show up.
Yes.
To some degree. I'm not saying they all deserve to be on the list. I put the 90s Flash at 50.
Really?
Yeah. I was stretching to pick shows, and there were shows I did forget. Had I remembered some shows that were pointed out in the comments later, I probably would have omitted some of the shows that showed up on my list. Yeah. I put Batman 66 at 17, followed by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Gotham, because I'm ranking it based on the current season, not the shit that we got before. Because when we made the lists, the current seasons were already either started or halfway or some to some degree. So like I voted on them based on what I'd seen of the current season. Right. So that's why I voted for them where they are. If I was to vote on them before this season, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gotham would not have been on my list whatsoever. That just being truthful there. Heroes I put at 10. Arrow I put at 6. Same thing there. If this season wasn't out, I wouldn't have put it on there. I would have put it on there, but it would have been like in the 90s or something. The Flash I put at 4, like the current one, and then like TNG I put at 3. So like I had all those on there.
TNG is not a superhero show, but okay.
No, but I did that just for people making comments that TNG doesn't deserve to be in the top 100.
Oh my God,
or
Mike!
in the top 10.
I need to send you the link to part 5 or part 4 so you can look at it. There are people in these comments that are just saying that the Next Generation does not deserve to be in the top 10.
What?
Yeah, because we were like, that's the strongest Star Trek show, and even Kevin was defending it. So that if Kevin says it must be right.
Like, I mean, that's a cultural touchstone for geeks.
Yep.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
I mean, Jesus, how can you, like, I mean, top 10 TV shows of all time? I don't know. Definitely top 25 for sure.
I think TNG covered a lot more philosophical stuff, like, whether, the sentience, because there was a lot of question with Data. Then you had the following of religions and ethnic backgrounds with like Worf or the Beta Zeds or stuff like that. So I mean, there was a lot of like
a lot of heavy-handed topics.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of heavy topics, and I think TNG covered it better than any of the other Star Trek shows, and that's why I think that show's the most relevant out of any of them.
I might argue DS9 did a better job of War.
No, I definitely agree with you. That did better with War, and then you have Gilligan's Island in space for Voyager, and, like, for instance, Q. Oh, I could send you back, but where's the fun in that? We want the show to go another 3 seasons. So, and then you get Enterprise. Oh, it was all on the holodeck. So, like, I think TNG was the strongest one. And I put the original series on there as well as DS9. And I listed all of them but Enterprise. But
I only put DS9 and TNG on there because they're the only 2 out of all of the shows that I can actually sit there and watch.
I would argue
it's got its moments. But I'm a huge Voyager fanboy, though.
Voyager, I jump around. There's episodes I skip. But
oh yeah,
a lot of episodes I skip.
The funny thing, I don't remember on the countdown, and we'll find out next week, next Friday, actually, the 11th, when we do the wrap up, or when the wrap up gets released. I don't remember where the A-Team came in. If it came in on the countdown, I think it did.
It did. Funny you should say that. This is what kind of a researcher I was. While the top 100 was going on, if it was on my list, at any point. Like I put in because I did this all in Excel, I put in the column next to it where it actually landed.
Okay.
So A-Team landed at 46.
Okay.
I put 51.
Okay, A-Team landed at 46, all right? So the funny thing is, I've been going back on Netflix, and I have been marathoning every so often the A-Team. And that show deserves a hell of a lot more love than it gets, because that show is just amazing. Those four guys, Face, Murdoch, BA, and Hannibal, oh my God. Just amazing. The funny thing is, the first season of the A-Team, it was kind of like what Netflix and AMC and all those networks and stuff do now, where, hey, let's just have an 8-episode season or a 10-episode. The first season of the A-Team is only 14 episodes, and where the rest of it is like 23, 24. Well, actually, season 4 was 17. But, I mean, like, the A-Team, if that show was still going today, it could really last in the current model of the mid-season finale kind of thing. But, man, do I love going back watching this show. It is so awesome. Okay, so has everyone seen Heroes Joining Forces, the Flash Arrow crossover this week?
I have not.
I
have not. Of course you haven't, Mike.
I'm still catching up, man.
I haven't finished Arrows.
Oh, you haven't? How far are you?
Halfway through.
Halfway through. What's the last thing you saw? Mike,
Can't
cover
say
your ears for spoilers.
I'm good.
A kid playing with action figures.
Oh, okay, you're there. Okay. So, you haven't seen Barry ghosting yet, right?
No.
Okay, well. Yeah, that happens. And, oh damn. Oh damn. Oh, it is so good. Okay, so, now, I know people don't tend to listen to others sometimes, but I'm sorry. If the guy that is playing Arrow says that, the last season of Flash and Arrow, you kind of didn't have to watch either. Like, if you're only watching the Flash last season, you didn't really need to watch the Arrow part of the crossover. But if you wanted to, you could. And vice versa, if you're only watching Arrow and you're not watching the Flash. This year, Stephen Amell said on one of his Facebook video chats that the crossovers for this year of both shows tie directly into each other. And I mean, because this crossover event specifically, Flash's is called Legends of Today, Arrow's is called Legends of Yesterday, because they're setting up Legends of Tomorrow, the show coming out in January. And damn, do I love these shows. Oh, man. So awesome. So, Mike, you're still catching up. Where the hell are you?
I haven't had a chance to watch it in a couple weeks, honestly, because gaming season has got me so busy reviewing so many things.
Are you still on season 1?
Yep, but because I got so much break to catch up since I'm going to take a month off.
Yeah, you'll catch up.
Time.
Yeah, you'll catch up quick.
Yeah, the only show I ever keep up with week to week. No, there are 2 shows I keep up with. I keep up with the Goldbergs and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been really consistent this year.
It's actually been really good.
What was that, Steve? Sorry?
I says it's actually been really good.
Yeah, like I'm really impressed, especially the last episode. Took some pretty big balls to do what they were doing there. So,
yep.
Although I wonder if they played their Inhumans card too early, considering the movie got pushed back. But as Civil War unfolds, we'll probably hear about more gifted people and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how S.H.I.E.L.D. and the MCU all tie together when it all happens. But they consider both worlds separate because Coulson's still dead in the MCU according to them. But
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, the character's too popular to not acknowledge in some capacity. Joss Whedon, you're no longer involved, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you're keeping up with those. I keep up with every show week to week to the point I irritate my wife, but because it drives her nuts. Because like she's like, I want to watch a movie. I'm like, I got to catch up on TV. I'm like, we can watch movies in the mid-season, like when there's nothing going on.
Yeah, and I watch Survivor with my wife because that's our thing. I only watch those 3 shows. Anything else, if it happens to interest me, like I watched the Constantine episode of Arrow of Arrow. I thought that was pretty cool. And now they're talking about him becoming a permanent part of Legends of Tomorrow for season 2.
And there was also I don't know if it was a fluff piece or if it was just a clickbait piece. There's also a news story saying because of what happens in the crossover this week that Cisco Ramon is going to end up on Legends of Tomorrow a couple of times. Because
that'd be pretty cool.
I don't know. That's one thing, and I know we've talked about this before, but that's just one thing I cannot stand is quote-unquote news stories that are really not news stories.
I think you're going to see all these characters cross over in that show.
Oh, absolutely.
So, because there's going to be a lot of time jumping too.
That's their Justice League essentially.
Yeah. Only done better than the 90s one. Have you seen the 90s one? It's got Flash, Green Lantern, and like a hot girl type character, and then a couple others. It's really hokey.
No. I was going to say, are you talking about that really weird pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
Flash's League?
Fucked up. I don't even know how else to describe it. It was weird.
It was really bad. It was like the Fantastic Four of the 90s.
Have you actually seen that?
Yeah.
I do like the Doctor Doom costume, though.
Mm-hmm. Actually, surprisingly more comic accurate.
And better than the Fantastic Four from this summer. Actually, you know what's really weird? A little bit of behind the curtain. So I contacted Fox this past week, and I've got back on their screeners list. They sent me 3 movies this week. 3 things. They sent me Fresh Off the Boat, which is a really funny comedy. They sent me Last Man on Earth. I also love that show. Santa's Little Helper with The Miz and Paige. But they refused to send me Fantastic Four. That's really funny. Think Fox is trying to erase this movie from history. So at some point down the road, there's going to be some time cop-like incident where Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to go back in time and prevent someone from erasing the Fantastic Four movie from history.
Kind of like how Universal pulled Gem after 2 weeks.
And man, the second that comes out on DVD, that's an instant buy for me because I can't wait to riff the shit out of that.
It's going to be a collector's item.
I have it, but it's not bad. It's not Gem. It's various components of the Gem idea meshed together. But
do you think it was just something they had sit on the shelf and they just changed a couple words around?
No, they didn't have direction. The writing did. They tried to cobble together the multiple aspects of the animated series. The family, never giving up on one another, all those good vibey messages that Christy Marx originally made, and the rest of it, it just, I don't know.
Well, I can tell you what the concept for that is. As stupid as this is going to sound, but it's true. Hollywood is run by a bunch of rich-ass people who know how to fill theater seats and sell Blu-rays and merchandise. They don't give a shit if it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But they also don't want to lose money either.
No.
And Gem barely made back its budget.
It didn't make back. It didn't.
I thought it did. I thought it just barely made it back.
Nope. It did not make its budget, as far as I know.
Probably a fucking tax write-off anyway. Because that movie had, what, like a $5 million budget or something really small.
Yeah, it had a $5 million budget.
Literally $5 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's not much.
It had
I've seen Kickstarters get more money than that. Veronica Mars got $6 million.
Mm-hmm. It had a $5 million budget. It made $2.8 million.
You know what's depressing? We're going to get... Mystery Science Theater 3000 one is over $3 million. It made more money than Gem. That's... Oh my god, I want Mystery Science Theater to riff Gem. Oh my god.
I was going to say that.
Oh my god.
Well, they do have Patton Oswalt and Felicia Day on there now, so that could work.
Oh my god, please, Internet, make this happen. But I can't see Universal giving the rights up to that. But then again, who knows, right? That would be amazing. My god, I need some... Man, I would go to a theater for a live riff if they got the Riff Tracks guys to do that too.
Well, yeah, I think they're separate, but... With the option...
They are, but that's the original Tom Servo and Crow. Are the, like, kind of Riff Tracks guys. But still, that's funny as shit. I can't believe that, though. Although, like, actually, Mike, look up real quick. Is there a release date for it? There's no way they'd bury it that bad, do you think?
No, I think they pretty much buried it that fucking bad, dude. I'm sorry, Steve.
Yeah, we already dropped the
I
first
know, but it's just... Hang on, let me
January 19th.
Yeah, home media, yep.
You know what you should do, Dodd?
Pardon?
You guys should do a Riff Tracks.
No.
You're right.
No.
We should all just form our own Riff Tracks, and we'll just sit here and we'll just rip movies to shreds.
I would so do that, man.
Now,
That's much fun.
So if you mix Mystery Science Theater 3000 with Cinema Sins and Honest Trailers, you'd have the ultimate like Riff Tracks type of setup.
See,
yeah, that would be pretty legit.
The problem is with the Gem movie, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth.
They didn't get Christy Mark.
Are you a Gem apologist?
Not about the film, no. I'm pointing out the problem with the film. The film could have been great if they had Christy Marks doing more than just a cameo appearance. If they had her on the writing of the damn thing. Because she knows what... She's essentially the creator of the animated series. She really is. You know, she did all the story stuff, everything else. If they had her write the story and get it approved by Universal...
Yeah, but sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You know what I mean?
But see, here's the problem.
That person being too close to the franchise may have proved to be a problem.
No, I don't think it would have, because it would have made it a lot better than what it was.
See, this is what I don't get. The people that create these shows and bring them to fame and everything else, you know, without really trying, and especially if it's based on an animated series, why in God's green earth do they not employ these people to write their films?
I think it may have to do with creative differences.
Well, I could see creative differences, but the studios are so ass backwards in trying to make a buck instead of trying to make a good movie and make a buck. Because if it's good, people will spend more money.
What Gem and the Holograms, the 2015 film, needed was a female fucking director. That's what it needed. It needed a female writer and a female director. It did not need John G.I. Joe Chu.
No, he was kind of a weird choice for this.
He was a weird choice, but also the other thing is it was just piss poor writing.
No, I'm not. There are parts about the movie that I enjoyed. Okay, and I really don't want to say too much about it because Nicole and Amy and I are going to do a full-on review of the film in January. So
that's good because I don't want to talk about it all that much.
I know, but I'm just saying it's not as bad as everyone is making it out to be. Yes, it's not Gem, the cartoon series from the 80s. It can't be. It never can be. The same way that the comic from IDW is not the same Gem.
But you can keep the lifeblood and the vibe.
Well,
if
the
you have
comic
the right
is
writers.
right. Well, the comic is doing that. But what I'm saying is, you can't just replicate what already happened, because it's just not going to work. And like I said, if they had anybody else in that director's seat or that writer's chair, it would have been a hell of a lot better than what a lot of people felt it was. I liked it. Wasn't the worst thing I've seen. So, what else do you want to talk about, Steve?
Well, I have, there's, of course, Star Wars. I was watching a bunch of the J.J. Abrams interviews and some of the stuff like that. And then there was a thing for... you know how they always do those Omaze things where you get to fill out and try and win to go to the premiere or whatever? If you go towards the bottom, there's also a way to enter without paying any money, which is kind of defeating the purpose. But you only get one entry, but it's like the more money you spend, the more entries you get. So like your chances in winning this are like a snowball's chance in hell.
But hey, man, you can't win if you don't play, right?
Yep, I played, but so yeah, like it's they give away 4 tickets or whatever. But anyways, they had Mark Hamill running undercover in a stormtrooper outfit on Hollywood Boulevard, interrogating people on Star Wars and taking photos with them, and it was quite funny. Nobody recognized his voice at all, and he didn't take the mask off. Somebody was like, "Yeah, I love that Mark Hamilton," and he says Hamilton, and then he just like the stormtrooper face looks at the camera like he would be given one of his like what the F faces, but like the mask was over it, so it was kind of funny. So like I was laughing watching that, but yeah, I'm pretty geeked for the movie, even though I have no idea what's going on with it, but not too much longer now.
Nope.
15 days, 14 days when this releases, so.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I got my tickets for the Thursday night.
I don't have tickets yet.
According to AMC, there's not that many left in the U.S. Like, a lot of places are sold right out.
I'm not going to see it opening weekend anyway, so.
I could not see this not opening weekend. This is more important than the prequels, because we knew what was going to happen then. This is completely unknown territory. So, I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm looking for it. I'm hoping I don't have to wait outside for 15 hours like I did for episode 1. So, my wife is done school. Like, she's done for the winter break that day, so I may just camp outside the theater. I mean, obviously I'm going to get I'm going to get my spot, but I'm hoping, because I'm handicapped, they'll wheel me in first. And hopefully I can get something really nice.
You should use the Force.
I really should have. You
should just wave at them. You will let me in.
I'm pretty excited.
Give me preferential seating.
Although, now Canada, our theater chain, is pretty much saying you can't bring lightsabers, or you can't bring stormtrooper outfits to this thing.
A lot of the U.S. is too.
Yeah, and given recent events, I can see why. Although it's funny, though, when I actually called the president of Cineplex up here in Canada probably about 2 months ago, and I asked her this question, like, are you discouraging this, yes or no? And she said, yeah, like, we've always had a policy of no mask. I mean, as long as you can be identifiable, that's no problem. Although, reading some of the comments people are posting about this, you'd be surprised how quickly it turned incredibly racist. I hate humanity. But still, though, I mean, obviously the 501st Legion will have people there dressed up in something, so probably see a lot of X-Wing pilots and maybe a lot of Imperial officers, less stormtroopers than usual. And Jedi, well, it's basically a burlap sack. So I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and see. Although I always love watching the 501st come out in their stormtrooper outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. I know two guys. One is a pretty awesome stormtrooper, a pretty awesome Vader, and an amazing scout trooper.
Nice.
I'm hoping to do something with our local theater for Star Wars. I know for my holiday gift guide, I'm supposed to receive a Flame Trooper outfit and some other stuff from a costume company. So I'm really hoping they end up coming through for me.
Did you guys see the interview that Fallon did with Ford?
Where he broke his action figure's leg?
Mm-hmm.
That was a Hot Toys one, too. That made me sad.
That's just so wrong.
I liked watching the a different video, but it was J.J. Abrams.
It's a good thing that the Fallon show is taped, because that way at least they know where to put the bleeps. Because Harrison dropped like 6 F-bombs.
He did in what's it? Jimmy Kimmel show too. So
he is an amazingly crusty old man, but he does it so well.
Yes, he does.
Chewie, suck my hands.
Like, I just get paid for it, Jimmy.
Daniel Craig is my Wookiee bitch now.
Well, I think it was funny because they had Chewie standing on a building getting ready to jump, and Jimmy Kimmel's like, "Wait, aren't you going to do something?" And he's like, "Good, he did something to my wife." And then, like, he was going to let him jump, and then he went up there and saved him or whatever. And but it was pretty stupid, but funny at the same time. They also had R2-D2 show up in Jimmy Kimmel and use the hologram, and you see Carrie Fisher talking shit about going on Jimmy Fallon's show. Or not Jimmy Fallon's, but Jimmy Kimmel's. And
did you see the story where supposedly Disney asked her to lose weight for the role?
Disney made Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill get trainers.
Yeah.
They made them get fit for the movie. There was an interview I was watching of Mark Hamill today that it was like PC Gamer or some other place like that did an interview with him while he was doing something for like Wing Commander, and they did the motion capture and everything else with it. But somebody gave him a loaded question. Says, "So are you doing any?" Because he was talking about having to work out for getting paid to work out for Star Wars, and they're like, "So have you been doing any like sword fighting classes or anything?" And he says, "Ha ha ha, that's a loaded question," and like dodging it completely. He says, "I'm not saying I haven't, but I'm not saying I was either."
What was the line in the Fallon thing with Ford at the end? Damn it. I quoted it too. There was Jimmy asked him, "Did you like putting the costume on again?" "I showed up to be paid," or so, he says something about showing up to be paid. So next, changing gears a little bit, next Wednesday, DC Comics and IDW are launching Batman TMNT #1. This is going to be interesting.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
So, before we go, is there anything you guys want to pimp out?
Should have the Twig Holiday gift guide in the next couple of days. I'm still waiting on some additional material to come in, so that's why it's been delayed most of this week. I'm still waiting for the additional kind of Star Wars stuff to show up. So hopefully by the middle of next week at the very latest. Probably going to say, there's going to be a special Star Wars Terrible Warriors coming out for The Force Awakens. I'm preparing the campaign right now, so that'll be pretty cool. We're also talking about some big plans for that show as well, so hopefully when we have more to announce, I can tell you more. Should have a review for Rainbow Six Siege by next week. And Twig topic show this month is Star Wars, because we've never done one before. That should be me, Roebuck, and I'm not sure who else is going to join us. I'm sure I'll find someone. So yeah, that's what I got going on.
For me, Ryan Drost from Star Joes and I are doing some Star Wars comic coverage on the Pull Bag. Tooncast Beyond was supposed to come back this week or next week, but sadly that doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's see, what else? We get the top 100. We get the year in review coming up. We got a few more Star Wars countdowns that Kevin Optimus Solo is doing with his friends. Yeah, that's about it.
As for myself, I'll be finishing up that school project, which will be nice. I'm going to start taking my dog to obedience classes. Since we have her, she's 10 weeks old. The Beagle, this one's very bullheaded. She is, I'm not even joking. Like, this one's like very strong-willed, but again, she's a redhead, so it's kind of runs in that vein. They're very stubborn. This dog she's got a problem with like biting, but she's also teething, so that's part of it. And then we want to teach the dog to listen, because unlike our sadly our dog that passed away, she would listen, but like when it came to like food or when we needed her to get over in a certain area, she wouldn't do it. Like, wouldn't listen, didn't care.
So she had selective hearing.
Yeah, this one has don't feel like it hearing. So we're gonna train the dog to pay attention. So that'll be nice. Gonna be doing some more stuff for the site as far as graphics. I'm hoping to get to start doing like some maybe some video blog stuff for Altered Geek type stuff, and kind of leading up to like the 12 days of Christmas essentially. So I'm kind of hoping to do that, like even if it's just a general just blog type thing or vlog, and then maybe some geekery in it, probably geekery. I don't have a clue. We'll be finishing up the short film this week with the audio, so that will be great. And then the following week we'll have our film festival showing, so that'll be really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got going on. So
Dave, can I show up to your film festival in like a giant dingo costume?
I don't care. You can show up.
I totally would.
I know.
Really, really would. Like, if you don't vote for this film to win, something's going to happen.
See, I don't even know if it's to win anything. I don't know if it's just a display or if it's to win, because like I've actually never gone to any of these before.
Look, man, you just tell me who to fuck and I'll do it.
Oh, God.
A little gross.
Okay,
gross,
can we...
How many dudes do I have to blow to get Steve to win?
Moving on.
I believe in you.
So,
Moving on.
But yeah, after it displays at the film festival, I can post it online so that I'll have it available. So yeah. Anyways,
you
how can people
all the voices after you're done?
Dub all the voices?
Yeah, just whoever we can get into it. Let's just redub the entire thing.
Well, I was gonna say, instead of redubbing it, why don't we just do a riff tracks?
We could do that.
We'll just watch it on like Google on Google
Hangouts or something.
Hangouts, and then because it's like a 12-minute video, and then we'll sit there and rip the shit out of it during the play. Be fun to do. We'll just put pictures of our avatars, and we'll make up like cartoon characters and put them in place, and then we'll, so we can be like the robots. So anyways, how can people get a hold of you guys on social medias?
I am at TFG on Mike on Twitter.
Sacrifice a small animal and mention my name. You can also follow me on Twitter at Birdman, Dodd, and Instagram and Facebook at the same. But the sacrifice works faster.
Yes. You can get a hold of me on the Twitters at SCP21. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.